This is Andy Tube, and this is the Singer Model 513. Been working on this for a customer, and you can see I've been taking parts out of it and stuff, and I'm at the point where I want to take off the control dial and the control panel, and I was thinking, I don't think I've ever done a video on that, because I usually work on a little bit, you know, like machines from the 50s and early 60s, and not so much the, does this look better? Maybe like that. Not so much the ones with these dials, but I'm going to try and show you how to take that off, if I can try and get the camera angles right. To get started, you want to turn this control dial to 0, which is turn it to the right as far as you can. And if you just see if I can zoom in a little bit, after I turned it to the right, I just kind of pushed in a little on the right side and pulled out on this by using the thumb grip, and it just kind of clicks out for a little tiny opening there. Let's see, here's my pointer. There's a little gap right here, and that's where we're going to slip. We're going to slip a folded over piece of thin but strong material in there and get behind the dial. So I'll get this light back on now. I'm not sure how, I don't want to block your view, but I've got to get this in here. Some of them you can use about a 2-inch wide piece of paper folded over double, so it's like 1 inch wide, but sometimes that paper is not strong enough to pull the dial off. I think that's making sense to you here. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm slipping the fabric behind that dial, and I want to just kind of shoe shine it down where it's going to hit the top of the tube inside. Okay? Now the idea with this is that you just now pull that dial off. There's no screws or anything like that. It's just kind of got a little, I guess I'd call it a compression clip back there. And I can tell you from experience, some of them are on there pretty good. You know, this machine's from the early 70s, and it's very possible this has never been off, so it's pretty snug. So when you start pulling it, it could come flying off at a pretty good rate. So just be aware of that. And also what I'll do is take my fabric like that and try and hold it so it doesn't come flying off, and brace the machine, and kind of, yeah, that's the problem. The fabric starts slipping off the top a little bit. Oop, sorry. I think you probably heard that bouncing off the floor down here. Yep. So that's a perfect example of what I was warning you. So here's the dial. That's 0. Here's what it looks on the back. You see there's like a steel clip in here, and that's what really puts pressure on it. And see if we can. If you do this on your machine, when you go to put it back on, you'll see this little arm kind of come up here and dip down, and that matches this right there. So if you put it to 0 when you take it off and don't move it, when you go to put it back on, just have your 0 up, and you just put it on. And I'm not going to do it, but you just go like that and push it straight back, and you'll hear it click on, and you'll feel it click on. Okay, and don't be tempted when you're trying to get your fabric. Well, you will be tempted, but don't give in to the temptation when you're working on this, trying to get it off, of sticking your screwdriver around there behind it or something, because it'll probably scratch the plastic. Okay, so the good news is you got that dial off, and you can see why you need to take it off. It's pretty stiff, and you need to get it off to get the control panel. So I'm going to turn the control panel around here and show you what's in there. Is some clips now. Let's see. Oh boy. Yeah. I think that's actually showing up on my camera here. So there's this black kind of oval flat steel clip, and I'm not sure what Springer called it, but I call it a pinch clip because it has two tabs at one end that are kind of like crossed over each other, so they're made to take a plier, like a needle nose, and with the tip of the plier grab those tabs and pinch them to release pressure, and then you work the clip off. That's how it looks. So just those little tabs right there is what you pinch to spread the clip apart a little bit. And when you go to put it back on, you'll just reverse it with the clip out, and you'll squeeze those little tabs together, which barely spreads these open, and then you can get this here. Then you can push it on the knob sticking out the back of the plastic and let it go. And I'll show you those knobs when I get the whole thing off. So that's why I call them a pinch clip. I'm not sure what Singer called them. I'm sure they had a name and a part number. So don't lose your little clip. There's 3 of there. So that one was the one up here, kind of behind the red S, and then there's another one at the top that's between the 2 dials. So let me go in and get that one. And I'll just pinch it with the pliers and pull it off the back of the plastic knob, or post. Maybe post is a better word. Plastic post. Okay. And the third, what I'm calling pinch clip, is back here in this bottom corner, and I'll reach in and pinch that clip and pull that one out. So those are the three clips. Now there's a couple more plastic posts that you got to work out, but they're not really clips. There's, I don't know, there's like a spring thing on it. I don't know how to describe it, the darn thing, but one is up here, which would be left of the hand wheel, and with these you can just kind of, sometimes they'll pull out from the front, sometimes you got to push them from behind a little bit to give them a start. So there's one which would be up here, so that third clip was down here, and this post is up here, and where's the other one? So you got 1, 2, 3. I think it must be down here. Let me look inside for a moment. Yeah, it's down here. So with these clips off, you can gently what you got to watch for, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you this. The needle position lever has to be pushed down because it's kind of scalloped there, and it goes up in a notch to lock in. So when you want to take the control panel off, you need to push that down a little bit, and you need to work out these posts on it. You see, this one is real loose. I can get most of my finger, but I got to get the one here and the one up here, and just going to show. Yeah, I stick my plier up in there, and between the aluminum frame and that post, and just kind of push back on the top of the plier, and it starts pushing that post through. There, that's a pretty good shot of it. Then don't forget don't forget to push that needle position lever down. Okay, so I've got 4 loose now, and there's one back here. So I'm going to try and reach in with my plier and push on it. Yeah. The other thing I'll do is take my little 2-ounce jeweler's handle and push on it with the wood handle. Get a little more leverage that way. There we go. So just to get something back in there and push on it. I'll show you the little clips on those two. I've never been able just to, you know, Singer kind of says, yeah, just pull it out, but I've never been able to do that. But now, am I backed out? Yeah. Now I've got the control panel off, and here is the left post. See that plastic post that the pinch clip goes on, and the post that's between the 2 dials, the pinch post, and the bottom right corner, that's where the other pinch clip goes. And then the top right corner up here and the bottom left of this part, they have these little folded over steel clips on there, and that's why I guess you could pry it out, but I'm always afraid I'm going to damage the plastic, and these can be real hard to find. So that's why I go from behind and push on it with my plier or the wood handle a little bit. But that's how you get it off. without scratching it in one piece. And again, don't give in to the temptation to, to put a screwdriver back here, because it's real easy to scratch and bend the plastic. Always work from behind to push those two posts that have the black clip built on them. Okay, now when you go to put it back on, it's very easy. You'll put it in there, line up the holes. Again, push down on the needle position lever so you can get those posts all lined up with the holes, and then just start snapping them back in evenly. I'm not going to do it because then I'd have to pry those two back off. But just remember to put your needle position like in the center, and push down to get that lever through the plastic opening. Okay, when you put it on or when you take it off. Come on, you. Yeah, they're pretty snug fit. So there we go. And just take each one off kind of evenly. Don't try and take one all the way out, because they're longer than you think. They're pretty long, so you're not going to get one out with the others in. You got to kind of evenly work it out. But it's easy to push back on. Just remember your needle position lever, and once it's on, it's easy to put the control knob back on. Just put the 0 position up, slide it on, and brace it with your thumbs and push it straight back to there. Whee! So there's how to remove the control dial and the control panel on the Singer Model 513. It was a new one for me. I hope that was helpful. There's a lot of other Singer machines that use this same method. And now you know what to look for as far as clips and posts and stuff for the panel. So thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in to AndyTube, and I hope to see you back. Take care.